only meant for the Republicans. Mrs. McMahon, please, come on down. Please understand you're welcome to ask questions. I will call on you. For those of you with the soft voice, I suggest you bring your outside voice in so everyone can hear your questions, and I ask that you stand up when you ask your questions, or I'll remind you. Linda, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. I've been looking forward to meeting you. I met Mary Ann some few weeks ago and had the pleasure of having chocolate chip cookies in her living room. I don't know if she's made chocolate chip cookies.
Actually, they're in his pocket.
But they're delicious. Mr. Mayor, Senator, it's just a pleasure to be here with everyone tonight. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I am running for the United States Senate, if you don't know that. But I'm not a career politician. I am a mother. I'm a grandmother. I've been married to my husband, Vince, for 43 years. And as I said, I'm not a career politician, but I am a businesswoman. My husband and I have lived in Connecticut for over 30 years. And I've spent the last 30 years growing a small family entrepreneurial business into a global brand that's now traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And with a lot of sweat equity, with a lot of opportunity and hard work, WWE, my former company, World Wrestling Entertainment, is a great success today. It's seen in over 140 countries and translated in over 35 languages. And because of the success of WWE, I am today financially secure. However, that's not always been the case. When Vince and I first started out, we went bankrupt. We lost our home, we lost our cars, we couldn't get any credit. It was a tough time. But because of the American way, the American dream, and the opportunity that this country provides, and as I said, hard work and sweat equity, we were able to come back. And we were able to come back in a big way over time. And what I'm afraid, given where our government is taking us today, where Washington is leading us today, is that American dream could vanish for my grandchildren, their children, and I want to put a stop to that. And I shared with you the story about bankruptcy because I want you to know that I've been where so many people, not only in our state, but in our country are today. They're afraid of losing their job. They're not sure how they're going to make their mortgage payment. They're not sure how they're going to make that loan payment. And so I've been in those shoes. But I'm running for the United States Senate because I want to stop runaway spending and the debt that's mounting in Washington by our government. I don't think they have the right answers. I think that there's a lot of special interest money that goes into Washington. And I'm funding my own campaign. I'm able to do that because of the success of WWE. So with money I've earned, I'm funding my campaign. I'm not taking any special interest money or any PAC money. Because when I go to Washington, I don't want to have to look in the eyes of any of you and have you know that I traded my independent thinking because of special interest money. Now, today's been a pretty interesting day in Connecticut politics because, you know, the Dump Dodd stuff must have worked because Chris Dodd did announce today that he will not seek re-election next November. And Richard Blumenthal, the Attorney General, has announced that he will seek the Democratic seat. He will seek to replace Dodd on the Democrat side, but I don't think we want to let him do that. Because I intend to run hard and fast. I was asked today, does the fact that Mr. Blumenthal is now in the race change your campaign or your strategy? I said no, because I really wasn't just running against Chris Dodd. He happened to be the guy in the Senate. I'm running against the policies of Washington. I'm running against backroom deals. I'm running against lack of transparency in our government. I'm running against the policies that are being put in place today. And what I want to be able to see in Washington is what my focus is, and that is the creation of jobs. The someone has asked me, what is your primary platform? I've said 3 things: jobs, jobs, and jobs. Because until we put people back to work in this country, we're not going to have any kind of recovery in our economy that's going to be sustainable. I know about small businesses. I know about creating jobs. I know about growing a business. And I think that is one of the biggest contrasts between me and the other folks who are running. Because I'm not a career politician. I'm a businesswoman. I've built something from the ground up. I know about making a payroll. I know about executing a business plan. I know about how to keep a budget. And as I'm traveling across the state, what I hear time and time again are a couple of things. One, the populace, the citizens here in our state, many maybe are among you tonight, they want to see change in Washington. They don't want career politicians. They want people with real-life business experience, people who can do what I have done and hopefully make changes in Washington. They want opportunities with their small business. I've talked to a lot of small business owners, and what they have to say to me is they're afraid of this economy. They can't get bridge loans from their community bank. You know, a bank that they've done business with before. They borrowed money, they paid it back. They borrowed money, they paid it back. Good relationship. The credit markets are so tight, small businesses can't get these loans. I think one of the unintended consequences of the credit card reform is that even though interest payments were high, small businesses could use credit cards with a line of credit and at least get them through a bridge time. They don't have that opportunity anymore. Small businesses aren't quite sure what's going on relative to taxes. Are unemployment taxes going to increase? New health care reform going to impose new taxes on them, or they're going to be must-carry provisions that are going to make it impossible for them. So what a lot of small businesses are doing, if they're hanging on, they're not expanding, they're not growing. In fact, I had one man who told me, he owned a construction company, and he said, look, he said, I'm right at that level. I've worked so hard to get right up to that level now, but if I go over it, I'm going to be subject to, the surtax. He said, so I'm staying where I am. Point of fact, I might even lay off a person that's in my company because there's no way I'm going to go over that threshold and pay that additional tax because I'm working too hard for it. There's not the return for it. So I'm hearing this everywhere I go in the state. So when I was asked, the strategy of my campaign changing, no, because the message is the same. Dick Blumenthal's been the Attorney General. He's got great name recognition. He's been in office for a long time. He is a career politician, a career government man. Rob Simmons is a career politician. Peter Schiff is an economist. He's not a career politician. He's an economist, and he runs hedge funds. And so Peter will be in the race. But I can tell you that our focus groups around the state continually say, we prefer someone with real-life business experience to someone who is a career politician. So I'm staying on that course because that's what I know, that's what I understand. And I'm not going to deviate from that, and I think you have to deal from where your strengths are. So I am doing what I think is the way to win this campaign. Now, not too many people knew me in the state when I got started, so I launched my campaign with a big media blitz. Television, radio, mailers. I don't know if some of you are getting, the mailers. And so I'm creating that awareness. But the way you win this race, in my view, is doing like what I'm doing tonight and what I've been doing every day since I announced my candidacy in mid-September. I'm out in the cities and the towns saying hello, shaking hands, letting you look me in the eye, kick the tires a little bit. Ask me what you want to ask me. Find out for yourselves if you have confidence to send me to Washington to represent you. And I want to do that job. I want to be our party's nominee, and I want to be elected the next United States Senator from Connecticut. So I'm here tonight. I'm happy to answer questions. I think Mary Ann will moderate and